Hi everyone, and welcome back to Monthly Reads. So it's been quite a while since I've actually done any videos talking about the books that I've read, but I thought it was kind of time that I got back to doing those types of videos and discussing what I've been reading. So as it's February, we'll discuss what I read in January. So in January, a lot of the books that I read were very film themed. All of these books have had film adaptations. Some of them are good, some of them bad, you know, depending on what your opinion is of how well they encapsulated the book. So the first book that I read was Neverending Story, and I technically kind of started this over Christmas and then kind of finished it in January. So maybe it doesn't 100% count, but I thought I'd include it. So Neverending Story was an interesting book. It's a film that I enjoyed a lot when I was a kid, and I thought, hey, let's read it and see what it's like and see if I enjoy it. And overall I enjoyed the book, but I was really shocked at how different it is. So obviously I got halfway through and I got to where the end of the film kind of is, and I was like, okay, this is different. And then it goes off on a completely different tangent where a lot of different things happen that don't happen in the film, and it was so much more in depth from that point onwards. A lot of the themes and topics became a lot more serious and a lot more adult, which I thought was really interesting for the novel. Overall, I really enjoyed the pace and thought, you know, it was quite good. It is a translation from a German novel, so obviously sometimes it doesn't always quite end up the way the author intended. I felt this was a very good translation and that it made a lot of sense. It was very thoughtful, and that's always very helpful when that happens. So yeah, overall it was really good. I enjoyed it, and yeah, I'd recommend it. If you've ever watched the film and you thought, maybe I should read the book, then I definitely would recommend reading it, as it's vastly different with certain things. And although the narrator can get a little bit annoying sometimes, he is just a kid, so you know, you kind of put up with that and you just make do with it. But as a read for somebody who enjoyed the film as a kid, then I would definitely recommend it. Also, my partner went to a Comic-Con the other day and they had Falcor's head there, and it's really cute, and I shall post a picture of that for you all to see.
Turn around, look at what you see in her face, the limit of your dreams. Make believe I'm everywhere, given in the light. Right beyond the rainbow is the answer to our never-ending story. A never-ending story.
Now, the next book that I read was Stardust. This has been a book that I've been meaning to read for quite some time, but never got around to it really. But we ended up going to this big book warehouse place that you might have heard of, and I bought quite a lot of books there, including Neverending Story, including Stardust, and including the other book that I'm going to talk about. I just bought lots of paperbacks. They're all really cheap, and they're all books that I was like, I should probably read that at some point. But I've never found them in like my school library or my local library, so I never really read them. The next book I read was Stardust. I really, again, enjoyed the film as a kid. Thought it was great and amazing, and just one of those films that just stayed with me. I watched it quite a lot of times, so I could remember like all the things that happened in it, and reading the book I was like, that didn't happen. And I definitely think the novel is a lot more sympathetic to some of the characters. Like, some of the characters really had a rough time being portrayed in the film, and you know, they're kind of actually not bad characters in the actual novel itself. I think one of the things I really liked about it is that it was just that really quirky English folklore and the world of fairy, and how like nothing really makes sense, nothing really joins up together, but it's just all like quirky and crazy and, you know, quite dark, and always like there's something slightly sinister about it, and I just enjoyed that. Like, I really enjoy things like Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. So to find out that canonically it's actually sort of the same place as the same wall as in The Ladies of Grace Adieu. I was just like, this is really good. I like authors when they sort of come together and blend ideas, and it's just really fun when that happens. And it was just expanding on an already known genre. It's technically a folklore genre, but it's being sort of twisted and changed into something else by modern authors, which I think is great. Like, English folklore is just so fascinating, and when modern authors do spins on it, it just becomes this really madcap thing that's like really enjoyable. It's always very short as well. Like, sometimes it's really nice to just read a really short little fast-paced novel. It was interesting having the different perspectives sometimes, because it would like mostly stay in one perspective, and then just now and again it would just be like, you need this bit of background information, so here's another perspective. And then it just like a bit later it would be like, here's some more perspective from somebody else. But it was only really when we needed it. It wasn't like constantly swapping between perspectives. So I thought that was really good. Overall, I would definitely recommend reading Stardust if you've ever seen the film. Obviously, it is a more mature book than the film itself, so yeah, just bear that in mind when reading it, but definitely a good read. And finally, the last book that I read this month was Ready Player One. So I saw the film when it originally came out, so I've only really seen it once. I think maybe I saw it again a bit later when it like came onto DVD or was on TV or something, but I haven't really watched the film that much. I did enjoy it though, but the book I really enjoyed. Like, the amount of 80s references in it, it's like every paragraph was a reference to something, and there was a lot more references to things that I'm interested in, as opposed to the more modern stuff and the stuff that they could get the copyright to reference in the film. So I really enjoyed that. The plot made more sense. That was the big thing for me with Ready Player One. In the movie, everything seemed very simple. Like, you know, the way he finds the first clue, it's just like, that seems far too simple. Whereas in the book, it makes a lot more sense. Like, why people haven't found this clue and why he suddenly finds it. And it's one of those really good things that I was just like, yes, this makes more sense. This is what we wanted to see. We wanted to see things making more sense. So I'm kind of glad about that, really. The writing was good. Like, I enjoyed the pace. It was very good how it sort of went from the light-hearted world of the Oasis, where all of your dreams are made possible if you've got money, to the sort of this real world where, you know, it's a life or death situation. So it was kind of juxtaposing how we have that sugar-coated memory of like retro things from the 80s and the 90s, and how that seems really weird calling the 90s retro, but it kind of is. But yeah, this sort of like sugar-coated view we have of the things back then, and, you know, contrasting it with the really dark things that are going on in the novel. You know, it's not just a light-hearted gamer novel. It's quite dark, very post-apocalyptic, you know, world's gonna end kind of future thing. So I enjoyed it. Like, obviously, if you enjoy references to pop culture, then you're gonna absolutely love reading the novel. But also, if you kind of just like your dystopian novel where you're just gonna hope that the good guy can win, then, you know, if you like dystopian novels where nobody wins, then that's kind of it's not going to be up your street. But if you like your dystopian novel where there's a light at the end of the tunnel, then this is probably definitely the book for you to read. So thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this new monthly reads video. Hopefully I'm going to be doing these again quite regularly, and hopefully the sewing videos will be more regular. As you can see, I'm in a new place. I'm not in the same chair that I always used to sit in. I don't have my books behind me. That's because I moved, and everything's been a bit hectic since then, and I got a new job, and so just life has been very hectic. And I was working on a very big project for a competition, and that took up quite a lot of my time. I am going to be releasing some videos on that, hopefully next week. You'll see the first of those videos. And so in between moving, starting a new job, having this huge project, and then just trying to have like a little bit of quiet time to settle down, I haven't really got much done in terms of videos. So yeah, lots of videos, but I did do lots of reading. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to know about any of the books that I was reading last year when I wasn't making any of these videos. You might have seen some of them on like my Instagram or on my TikTok. So yeah, check those out. But thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, if you want to like and subscribe, and thank you so much. Bye!